It's past 3. Let's welcome back one of our most popular guests. The UK Happiness Ambassador is here from Gravesend, Action Jackson. How are you, Jackson?
I am doing fantastic, Pat. How are you doing?
Big Pat. All right, not bad at all. We've come, sadly, to the final few steps of your happiness path, haven't we? And we've learned a lot over the past few weeks.
It's been a fantastic couple of weeks. It's been a great privilege sort of working with you, Pat, and on these tips. It's been amazing.
Well, last week you told us judge less and accept more, watch less and do more. This week, what is your final piece of advice for us, Jackson?
Well, the final piece of advice is very fitting for what's happening at the moment in the earth, which is complain less and appreciate more. And it's so easy with everything that's happening for us to complain. Oh, look at this. The lockdown is meant to be over, but yet now we have to wear masks, blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, here's my phrase. When you complain, it affects your brain. But when you're grateful, your heart will be full.
That's nice. It is. We are hardwired, though, I think, to complain, aren't we?
Yeah, it's very easy. It's in the nature. When it gets too hot, we complain about being hot. When it gets too cold, we complain about being cold. And research has shown that whenever you focus on the negative, it actually affects your immune system and it opens you more susceptible to sickness. So we have to be very careful that we do not focus on the negative. Instead, let's focus on the positives.
Oh, well, all right. Okay. Well, look, I'm going to make you justify this because it isn't easy, particularly now. I mean, we've been through, a global pandemic. It's just been rotten for all of us. Nobody, I think, has escaped. How can you not look at the negative? How do you turn your attitude round?
Well, you can focus on the negative, but you can miss out on the babies that have been born during the pandemic. You can miss out on the marriages that have taken place. You can miss out on the fact that we are actually still all, touch wood, still alive. So when you look at the fact that we're still alive, you know what? Let's be grateful we're still standing because it could have been worse. It could have been worse, but we're still, and think about the Great Depression. That was worse than what we've pretty much gone through. So, it's all about forcing ourselves to begin to see the positive narrative rather than the negative narrative. It's easy to pick on the negative. We can make a list, but what does that do for our soul? It doesn't do much for our mind and our soul.
Is it scientifically proven then, if we focus on the negative, it affects our emotions?
Oh, yes, because, our brains are designed to keep us alive. So back in the good old thousands of years, your brain was supposed to protect you from harm. There were 3 things you're supposed to do when you saw danger. You either fight, or you freeze, or you fly. Now, there's no more physical danger, but what's happening is the same triggering system is still happening to our brain. When there is negative news, the brain either wants to fight, wants to fly, or wants to freeze. So whenever you put negative in front of you, your immune system kicks in. Serotonin is released in the brain, and which floods the body with negative toxins. And we don't want negative toxins in our system.
This kind of bounces back to what you said last time, watch less, do more. You were saying, don't be constantly on the telly or checking things on your phone or your iPad, because invariably it is stuff that is going to irritate you at least.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think the more you watch, the more it's flooding your brain, the more you're seeing the negatives. And then the brain gets used to seeing negative. There is something in psychology called the reticular activating system. And what that is, Pat, is maybe you bought a brand new car. And have you noticed when you bought that car, all of a sudden you saw that car everywhere?
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
But you didn't see it before. Because you now own the car, your brain then looks out for something similar. Yeah. It's the same with the brain. When you focus on the negative, the brain will then go out to look for anything that resonates with that thought. So it's good to be grateful. So when we look out into the world, we'll see things that are grateful.
And does it work conversely? I mean, if you see good, are you going to see more good around you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, I woke up this morning, I went for my morning run, which I do every other week, every other day, 8K. And I just paused to just listen to the birds because at that time of the morning, 6 a.m., it's so beautiful. So I've gotten used now to tuning into the beautiful things about nature. So yes, if you look for the good, you will see the good. If you look for the bad, you will see the bad.
It's funny, isn't it? You know, when lockdown first kicked in, everybody made a point of saying, wow, don't the birds sing loudly? And do you not notice, how much nature there is because it's not being drowned out by cars and planes and the general hubbub of life. Now that the hubbub has returned, we've kind of lost the ability to tune into the frequency of nature, haven't we?
You are 100% right. I mean, we had oceans were clearing up. There were deers coming out to play. I mean, we are human beings, and the more connected we are to nature. And that's why I would advise people that, if you can find some greenery, there is something called barefoot meditation where you take off your socks and you just go into the garden if you have one and just walk around in the garden and just breathe. It really helps you to be grounded and it helps you to regulate your body's systems. So, yeah, the less noise we have, the better.
That's interesting, taking off your socks, your shoes and socks. We often walk around the garden, and enjoy what there is there, but I've never thought of getting so close to nature you're doing it barefoot.
Oh, yeah, definitely, because, there are certain charges that are sent through the body whenever you're in that state. Your body, like today, I had an avocado, and as I was eating the avocado, I felt scented versus if I had a chocolate bar in my hand. So there is something about our heart and our body that knows what's good for it. And you just have to just look in and trust the instincts that this is actually good.
Yeah, avocados aren't as addictive as chocolate, though, are
No, they're not, but you can make them addictive.
they? Yeah, depends how many you have, I suppose. So have you got a list of things that we should concentrate our minds on then in order to appreciate the good in life?
Yeah, so what we could do, if you've got your phones, you bring out your phone and just make a list of the people you appreciate in this season. Appreciating the team in the NHS, the key workers. I started to make a list of, the people behind Zoom and those companies that allowed us to communicate effectively. So make a list of people who have provided for us in this season. I appreciate Netflix. They've put on more films, The other thing also is appreciate places. You can start thinking about what are the places I really, really appreciate. Maybe you haven't had a chance to go. Start listing those things that you appreciate. And every now and then, pause, close your eyes, and just think about the last time you were there and just breathe it in. The brain can't tell the difference between what's real and what's not. So when you close your eyes and imagine it, it's as if you were already there. The other thing you can also appreciate are things. Your iron, your phone, your TV. I mean, I'll go around the house touching things, as in I'm grateful for my laptop because it allows me to do more work. I'm grateful for electricity because it allows everything to function. And also, finally, situations. What situations are you grateful for? Might be negative, but you learned a good lesson from it. So it's so important. People, places, things, and situations that we're grateful for. It helps the good chemicals to keep flowing in our body.
And it grows. It's like compound interest, isn't it?
You've hit the nail on the head. The more you do it, the more it compounds, the more your brain starts to change its neurological pathways, and the more what you filter. There is something in psychology called a scotoma, which is a blind spot, meaning you can look out in the world, and because if you've conditioned yourself to see negative, you never see the positive. But we can use it the opposite way. So definitely it rewires us, because what you appreciates in life.
Nice. I like that a lot. Very good indeed. I know you've started a 7-day life renovation challenge, haven't you? What does this involve?
Yeah, so liferenovationchallenge.com is a way of me helping people to create a life that would make them smile. Many of us have had a knock over this last couple of months. And I had an email. There's a lady, the first lady that joined, she said, I've lost 5 people in the last 3 months in her life. And she's trying to bring herself back, and she can't do it by herself. And what we do is we come together as a group to talk about what are our goals, how can we renovate your relationship room, your finance room, your career room, your fitness room. We come together, challenge ourselves over the next 7 days to see if we can just really, really bring our lives back. Because, Pat, 2020 is not over yet. This is the second half. One year for Corona, We can bring this back, Pat. We can bring this back. We can win this.
Okay. We don't want to go into extra time, though, do we?
No extra time. No extra time. And you know, I set myself a goal. I said, I want to help 10,000 people by December 31st. That's my challenge. Yes, yeah. That's the goal.
And what do we do? You log on? Does it cost anything? What's the background to this?
Do you know what? It's free of charge to join. All you've got to do right now when you finish listening to the amazing Pat is to go to liferenovationchallenge.com, click, and you just put your details in, and I'll send you the rest of the details. It's free of charge to join, just to really transform our lives. liferenovationchallenge.com right now. Now, working with people, there's capacity, so you got to hurry to be able to have your place, because I can't work with everybody, but, you know, we're going to make it happen.
You have done so much for the County of Kent over the past few weeks. We are indebted to your action. And if it's okay, we'll check back with you over, well, I don't know, maybe a month or so. Would that be all right?
Yeah, monthly check-ins would be good. That's what I do with my coaching practice. We check in with people. But Pat, it's been a great opportunity to walk alongside you and the rest of the team at BBC Radio Kent. You guys are truly, truly amazing.
And we were walking barefoot, by the way, everybody. We've taken our socks off. Action Jackson, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is BBC Radio Kent. 3:20 now.